Hello there, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Marcus C. Williams here, and welcome to my show, Marcus, Made in America on the We the People Podcast Network. Today, well, let's talk about usually. Usually, I like to talk about all of the international news that's going on and how it impacts and affects our nation because we should always talk about that. We don't see many important issues being addressed by our government. We don't see many important issues being addressed by the news media. And many things happen all throughout the world that we should hear about on a regular basis, but we don't talk about it because people are concerned if they actually shared to you the news of what's going on across the world, that you actually might be spurred or motivated to do something. Now, today, this episode is going to mostly be about my candidacy for city council in Rochester, New York, talking about solutions to many of the issues that we have going on here, and the fact that you can probably pretty much apply many of these solutions all over the nation and to wherever you might live. Um, I really appreciate you guys tuning in and taking this time to listen to something that, well, is important to me and hopefully important to you. Earlier today, I was at a conference, well, not a conference, but a rally situation for people that were standing up about our civil liberties, for people that were speaking out about our civil liberties, because they believe that our civil liberties are important. They believe that there should not be mandates for people to be vaccinated. That shouldn't be a thing because that's infringing upon your liberties and your freedoms. And it's just really too much. And people are frustrated, so they're standing up. People are standing up because there are overzealous regulations on masking. People are standing up. People just got vaccinated and now they're telling them that they should wear a mask inside their own home. People are standing up. People don't like what's going on at their local schools because they're teaching people things that are not beneficial, not going to help them get into school or college or anything like that, not preparing them for the real world life. But they like to teach them different things like critical race theory or whatever they dress it up in your particular district to be called, CES or whatever else they have it called. Um, we've got so much stuff going on in our country right now. We've got so many things. We've got the vaccine passports, which really need to be talked about more, and our elected officials really need to stand up against them because we're not able to afford for the government to look at us where we go everywhere, every day, and how often we go places, how long we stay there, who we're with, who we're around, who they're with, they are around. That's just too much data for our government to carry. It really, really, really is. And it's time that we took recognition of many issues that we have and where we're headed to, and that they get addressed. That's why people were at this rally today to stand up for our civil liberties, for our medical freedoms, for our just general civil rights. I mean, it's really sad that we're going in a direction which is legitimately segregation all over again. They're trying to separate vaccinated from unvaccinated people, and nobody will speak up. Nobody will stand up. So, in that case, I'm going to speak up. I'm going to stand up. And I'm definitely not going to shut up because if more people know that there are people out there willing to take a stand, they will stand up too. And now's our time to come together. We must come together in unity and love and have faith in our fellow man that we can be better together and that if we work together, we can help mitigate the issues with our government right now. The government is overreaching far too deep and far too much into our day to day lives. They are overreaching considerably into the lives of parents. They're reaching into their children's schools, they're reaching into the educational system, and a lot of things are going awry all across the nation. As far as I go, I think that it really starts with local government. Of course, we've got senior government officials in the federal government and stuff like that that are not the best people in the world. And they don't want the best for you, honestly. The majority of them are only focused on keeping their power. So why would they care about you? Their job has great benefits. I mean, look, a lot of people have been in there 40, 50, 60 years. We've got politicians on the federal level that like to die in office. And that's amazing. I remember I think it was about 10, 15 years ago now. Somebody died, I think it was in Texas, and they were on the ballot and they still won office. So, I mean, that's just kind of a funny thing that really happened that just goes to show you that a lot of people aren't really paying attention to a lot of the people that are in office right now. And we need to pay more attention to them on the federal level. But where it really counts, where it really, really, really counts is in your local city, in your local town, wherever you are throughout the nation. It's time for you to stand up. It's time for you to speak up. And remember, it's up to you. Nobody is coming to save us. We must save ourselves. I will speak up. Marcus C. Williams, I will speak up and I will stand up because if we do not stand up now, the road in which we're going is extremely dangerous and perilous. And given the fact that it is so dangerous, we must do our best to avert as many calamities as possible. Right now, in our nation, we have all of the issues all at one time. We have food shortages, we have gas price issues, we have hyperinflation going around, we've got rising house prices, we've got new jobs coming to market, but people not having the skills to take them. We've got China talking about they'll destroy our allies. They'll mess up Taiwan and we won't do anything about it. They'll bomb Japan back into the sea. And when they're done bombing them, they'll invade there. Like it's really, really, really concerning when you see that we have serious issues as a whole, as a country right now. And then our local elected officials are not even representing us very well on the local levels. So we see things like Russia building with China and Iran to create a 25-year defense pact. Like, are you serious right now? Like, this is so dangerous for our nation. Like, we all need to be paying attention. It doesn't matter what Joe Biden wants to do with the Iran nuclear deal because Iran has a partnership with China and Russia. So he might as well pull out completely of it because it doesn't make any sense. They're being defended by China and Russia. Are you serious right now? Not to mention all of the hate that Iran has for America and how they consistently tell us how terrible we are and they want to destroy us. Okay. We just have to pay attention. Everything is made in China. We have serious manufacturing issues here. We saw that right at home last year when they started to shut everything down, and we couldn't get imports from Europe or from China. China is one of the fiercest, most vicious competitors that we have in the world, but they're also an enemy, and people need to recognize and treat them as such. And they're not doing that right now. People really, really, really need to wake up to the to the existential issues that we have going on with China that at some point may very well lead into a war. And it's serious and we have to talk about it because what it is it's the mentality of small government going all the way up to large government and the fact that people in large government right now feel like they can do whatever they want because they're not close enough to the people that anybody will do anything to them. Okay. Now, as far as I go, I think that the local officials and the federal officials should represent the people that are in their district or in their area, but they're not doing that. They're representing themselves right now, and we honestly deserve more. So, For me, I'm running in Rochester, New York right now, and I want to give everybody some actual, real reason to believe that everything isn't going to be completely 100% terrible. I believe that in America right now, we need strong leaders. We need strong leaders that are willing to take action because there are not enough people that are standing up and that will speak up for our values and our principles and our American flag. They won't speak up for our nation, and they continue to let people come into our country without any checks and balances when we have policies for a reason. And then they had the nerve to tell Cuba that the people from Cuba can't come in. How horrible is that? But we've got open southern borders where everybody can come in. This is the leadership that we need on the local level to actually stand up and say, no, we don't like things that are going on. Yes, we can do stuff. When you look at your local habitat, we'll say, but wherever you live, a town, a township, a village, a city, it's all the same. We're all people all across the nation. And it really, really is up to us to stand up and be leaders for ourselves. If we don't stand up and we don't speak up, nobody's going to speak up for us. So I'm standing up as me, Marcus C. Williams, and I'm going to, and well, not going to, but I'm actively running for city council in the city of Rochester. Oh, do we have a picture here? All right. Looks like we've got a picture here. All right. Let me read you this, guys. So, got this awesome picture here. This is one of my mailers. It's talking about my standard points. I'm working to increase the quality of life and saving you money. I believe that we should restore, renew, and revitalize our city. Focusing on safety, stability, sustainability, and strong leadership. It's really time, and as I keep saying, it is time for us to bring more action to make the change that we actually need. To achieve this, we must restore our values, renew our schools and police, and revitalize our neighborhoods and businesses. We can restore our city with love, faith, and unity. We can. I love Rochester. I love my city. I love living here, but I want more out of my city. I believe that we deserve more, and we've continued to get dealt out less and less. They focus on people who are well to do or affluent. They focus on people who don't live in the city, who they're trying to court to come into the city. And they just completely forget about all of the citizens that are here right now. Every now and then they'll tell you something nice or flowery that they say will be beneficial to you, but it never kind of materializes, and it just nothing ever happens. A lot of people that I see on the local level, it really concerns me because they either don't know the actual duties of the position, so they're not able to talk about actual policies that they can actually implement, change, or work on anything like that. For me, myself, I have a lot of things that I would like to put forth as far as initiatives. Some of my important things, like limiting government spending and promoting neighborhood safety and reducing crime, are things that everybody across the nation believes in. I focus on local businesses and entrepreneurship. That's something that everybody can believe in. I want to put in to do different community uplifting initiatives. That's something everybody can get behind. I want to improve the neighborhood zoning, and I want to improve the business codes and housing codes because they're all it is all good get up, and most municipalities are. I believe in improving our crucial infrastructure. So all of these are things that anybody can support. Now, I am registered as a Republican and I am going to be on the conservative line. I identify as a conservative futurist because I know that what got us here is good. And but sometimes it needs to be changed for the future. We have to. Hey, Mike, how's it going? And it's good for us to actually. Okay, let's talk about a couple of things. I was going to talk about something different, but I changed my mind. Let's talk about limiting government spending. So much has happened, and right now in the federal government, our debt limit is continuing to go up, and on the local level, our spending continues to go unregulated, unchecked, and it just does. There's no oversight there. So for me, in the city of Rochester, I want to make it so that we have open books for all programs that are taxpayer funded, as well as for the city school district. I know that might not be popular with a lot of people, but we need those open books as far as citizens go. It's very important. It's very, very important. And because we don't have these open books, people put FOIL requests. People go in and they say, oh, well, we need this information. They never get it, or they give some excuse why you can't have it. And that's a problem. You shouldn't have to fight for stuff that's your own taxpayer money. Like if you're paying for it with your money, then the receipts should be out and open for you. That should be anywhere that you go in the country. It shouldn't be hidden. It really shouldn't. I believe that they should open those up. And if they don't want to, why are they our elected representatives? That's my question. I don't understand what's going on right now. Have they just completely forgot to serve their community right now? Is that what's going on? I believe that's what's happening in Rochester. So many people are trying to understand exactly where the issues for city school district come from and where the budgeting goes and how money gets spent. So many people are concerned about city projects and are they spending money the wisest? I mean, in Rochester right now, we've got what do we got? In Rochester right now, we've got Parcel 5, which is now a big park that they made, which is it's nice that it's downtown, but they tore down the oldest mall in the country that was the first indoor mall in the whole country. And I don't know why they did that, but for a vacant spot now. Okay, so now we have a park, but now they're watering the park and the watering costs a lot of money. Well, but how much money and really how much water? So it's kind of small things like that. Where does the funding go for that? How much is the project really costing us? And why are we subsidizing large corporations when they come into the city? Why are we subsidizing large corporations and we're not giving these type of tax breaks and stuff to actual citizens? I understand that it's to bring in more business. Okay, we've got some quotes here. What we got going on here, Austin? What you got pulled up right there? You've got the child care. Oh, okay. So one of my flyers just got pulled up here. It's the child health care, not child health care, excuse me, the child care issue that I like to talk about so often goes untalked about. So childcare is an ever booming thing because not enough childcare professionals exist. Childcare is very crucial to a healthy, humming economy. If you want the economy to go right, then you need the option of proper childcare so people know that their children are taken care of and stuff like that. When it comes to childcare, the majority of childcare workers are independent contractors. So, being that they are independent contractors means that they are self employed. They are building their own brand, they are building their own business. And if we could encourage more people to go out and be childcare providers, it would be a wonder and a godsend, not just for people who have children who are going to work, but also businesses as well. Because it's important for businesses to know that their employees have consistent health childcare and that they're going to be able to make sure that they can make it on to work because they have childcare. And it's awesome that we could do something to actually make it better for people that want to get into the childcare industry in Rochester. So for me, my proposition for that is that we create a child care network. And with our child care network, we can group together different people who are in child care services so that, like, let's say if one of your babysitters gets sick or they're not able to open that day, so the child needs to go to a different daycare. But you can't go to a different daycare because you're not signed up at a different daycare. But if you were in this child care network, then you can just reroute them to a different school or a different training facility or a different child care facility, because that's what we need. We need that type of backup, that type of safety net for our parents in our city. And there's no reason why the city isn't able to work towards that. We can set up like some, what would you call it? Like some sort of a qualification program, like some little week course or something for a certification for the city to be part of the network. Nothing too heavy and nothing too expensive for the government. And it would be basically free. What it would do is we'd use it to promote childcare. We'd also use it to actually, so in Rochester, we have a lot of buildings that are owned by the city that are not used. And when we have a lot of buildings in the city that are not used, we could use those to our advantage, and we can push to actually renovate lightly some of them and make them habitable for childcare. And then people can rent the spaces for specifically child care services. And we can also work to group in people who are having night and overnight childcare services, because we don't have a lot of them. So we can encourage people to go in that profession for that specific need, because it's needed. It very much so is needed in the city. And that's something that's very important to me. What else you got, Austin? Austin, you got some more slides for me? Austin's got all the slides today. So happy. So this is, what's this? Okay. So our city is on the national news for all the wrong reasons: murder, drugs, and crime. So when it comes to murder, drugs, and crime, I'm a very, very strong supporter of our police. This Saturday, I'll be speaking at the Daryl Pearson second annual ride and fundraiser for an officer who was slain, unfortunately, in the line of duty. And these type of things are important to me. In order to have a healthy, cohesive society, we have to make sure that people feel safe and secure in the neighborhoods and communities that they live in. And it starts, number one, with locking up these criminals and stop letting them out. I don't want the prison industrial complex to take people and hold them in there any more than anyone else does. But some of these people really, really, really need to be in jail, and they should not be continued to let back out. Like, we've got criminals that are repeat offenders that come out for 8 gun charges and come back out. I'm over exaggerating, but I've heard for a fact at least 4, and come back out and then commit more violence. We've got people with drugs all over the city. The drugs are just in here so hard and heavy right now. I mean, it's crazy. We've got fake drugs. We've got what people think are drugs. We've got fentanyl. We've got Austin, what was it the other day that they said, the horse tranquilizers? What is it called? Do you remember?
No, I think I did hear about horse tranquilizers.
They're putting horse tranquilizers in the drugs, guys. Like, this is a serious issue and it needs to be addressed. And Rochester really has it has a crime problem, not a gun problem. Do we have that slide? We have a crime problem that's for real and serious.
Yeah, sorry, give me 1 second. Let me figure out where
Thank
that one
you.
ended up.
And what we have with this issue of crime that's so serious is that they're criminals. And people need to understand that the majority of criminals just want to criminal. That's just the way that they are. Criminals want to criminal. The majority of them, don't tell me that they're stealing because they're poor. That's not a true thing. Okay? We really need to stand up and we need to demand more from our local officials. So for the solution for that is I submitted to the chief of police, the city council, the mayor, and everyone else here, and I submitted my safe and sound action plan, which the police chief actually took up and turned into the Viper Task Force. You can check that out on my website, marcusforrochester. Excuse me, actually, it's not on my website. Oh my goodness, Austin, I got to put that on my website. But you can check it out on my Facebook. It's on my Facebook. It's on my Twitter. It's on my everything else, legitimately, Instagram. So on Facebook, I'm facebook.com/Marcus4 Rochester. On Instagram, it's instagram.com/Marcus4ROC. And on Twitter, it's at Marcus4ROC as well, I believe. It might be at Marcus for Rochester there. But my safe and sound action plan was actually adopted, and that was amazing. Like, I'm not even on city council right now, and the city is continuously adopting the ideas that I put forth. This lets you know that the ideas that I have that I'm presenting are all good and are all going to be actionable and able to be done. This is one of the things that I make sure that I do whenever I come in and I actually propose something. Is it going to be fiscally responsible? Is it going to be able to be done? And can we get it implemented? And yes, we can, with all of my initiatives, get them implemented, and they'll either save us money or generate us funds. Oh, you live in Rochester? Awesome. Sorry, Mike. I wasn't, the way the monitors are set up, I can't quite see it because the camera's on the one side and the comment box is on the other. I know you're there. All right. So, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you, Michael. All right. So, just to address everybody in the room. Sorry, guys. All right. What's our next one? What else we got? Just shoot me anything. Let's see. All right. So, the election is November 2nd. And remember, there's early voting this year. So, make sure that you vote Marcus C. Williams for Rochester City Council. Check out my website, marcusforrochester.com. Marcus, Marcus, the number 4, rochester.com. So I also have some new shirts that just came in. Shirts. I don't know. I'm hyper excited about this. I think this is really cool. Can we see this in the camera? Oh, no, it's too close. All right. Look at that. All right. Look at the shirts. Shirts. They're not on sale on the website. Sorry, you guys. But they'll be on sale by Wednesday on the website. So you can check one out, pick one up. Even if you don't live in Rochester, you can buy a shirt and support. Anyway, speaking of shirts, quick shout out to my podcast. Look at this awesome guy here. All right. Marcus, made in America. We got shirts. And next week, I will be giving away a shirt to one of our listeners. Okay. So make sure you tune in next week so that you can be entered in to get one of these shirts. And definitely mention that you heard about it in this episode. And you'll get 2 entries when you comment in the stats. So here we go. Let's get another one up there, Austin. I've got a lot of these things that I can talk about, any of the topics from my campaign. We're just doing it not even in any particular order, just because we've got so many things going on. It's like I'm at quiz day here today, you guys. Austin is just pulling up stuff and he's like, what's your policy on this? How are you going to address that? And I'm like, I've got you, Austin. I'm going to tell you how we're going to do it all.
Good. I have so many questions.
You have so many questions? All right. So this says, they keep trying to silence us, but we are not lambs. It's time to take a stand. And this is about standing up to our local officials and making sure that they know that we know that they're supposed to represent us, they're supposed to work for us, and that we actually hold them accountable. And we need to make sure that we're standing up and we're demanding our rights and our liberties be upheld. We need to make sure that our Constitution is being upheld. We need to make sure that they're implementing things in the schools the way that are going to be positive for the children, because the children are going to be the future stewards of our nation. Okay, America, wake up, y'all. All right, what else we got, Austin? All right, the truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. So many issues that come forth when you think about that. So many people don't actually have anything that they want to hear that is different than what they say. I think they call it cognitive dissonance. Austin, is that what it's called? Cognitive dissonance?
Yes, dissonance.
Dissidents, yes. Like the people that escape countries?
I think
That's
it's
dissidents.
Yeah, dissidents as opposed to dissonance.
Dissidents. So cognitive dissonance, where when people are confronted with information that goes contrary to what they believe, they automatically shut down, or they look for bias data, which is confirmation bias, which only allows them to hear what they want to hear and supports the information that they already believe in. But when they find out things and gather information, a lot of people don't want to hear it, and somebody needs to stand up and say the things that people don't necessarily want to hear, because we have to plan for the future that is coming, not the future that we think we would like to see in a utopia. We have to be realistic, we have to be practical, and we have to face the very serious issues that are being experienced by us every day. All right, hit me with another one. All right, families matter. Encourage two-parent households. Restore the nuclear family. So this also goes back to crime, because they say in crime, I believe it's depending on where you are in the statistics, it's 61 to 75% more likely that you'll commit crime if you don't have a father in the house. And I just find that to be insane. Insane. I fully support two-family households, because that's the way that it's supposed to be, because you need more than one influence for a child while they're growing up. You need both of their, basically, what do you call them now? Birthing people?
Yes.
Birthing people.
I think the birthing people is just the birth. There's one birthing person, and then there's a sperm donor.
Oh, well, no, that's not fair. That's not okay.
Isn't that what it is?
I don't know, man. If that's the way that it is, you see this discrimination?
Yeah.
Austin, how are they discriminating against them?
I tell you, I don't know,
And anyway, it's funny, but it's not funny, because that's a real thing. That's a real thing. They're trying to take two parents out of the household because they don't want you to have a male and a female figure there. They want to make you dependent and reliant on the government and only have single parent households, because when it comes to that, you're easier to be manipulated and controlled. And everybody knows that it's hard to raise a child by themselves. And this is one of the reasons that we need to focus on teaching people about commitment, teaching them about love, teaching them about unity, teaching them about benefiting others and coming together as a group to grow. And a family is where all of that starts, where all of those lessons are taught, where you gain most of your morals and values. And we need to foster strong families. That it's that simple. It's that simple. We need to bring back families. Make families great again, Austin. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's the next one? What we got here? The biggest issues facing our nation internally right now are this is a good one. The biggest issues facing our nation internally right now are conformity and cowardice. Too many people are being scared into not speaking up, thereby allowing our country to fall to ruin. Amen on that one, Marcus. That's a good one. That was a good one that I came out.
Yeah, good job, Marcus.
Yeah. So this is one of the reasons why I went to the rally today and I stood up and lended my voice to that rally, because it's very, very important that we speak up for our country and for our nation. And me on the local level, working to better my community as a whole, we need to speak up even more so on the local level, because on the local level is where you can see very active change and much active differences actually happen. Now, what we have with what's going on right now, and bro, honestly, let me be honest real quick. I don't know what's going on with the majority of our leaders right now. They don't seem to be standing up. They don't seem to be out speaking. They don't seem to be doing anything for the very serious, crucial issues that we're facing every day, that we're facing with our food supply, that we're facing with when we go to the grocery store to get food because of all the cost runs. They don't address any of the issues that we have with vaccine passports and vaccine mandates, because those are very important and crucial to talk about, but nobody wants to speak up about that because they feel like somebody won't love them anymore, or they'll be set up by cancel culture. It's time for our leaders to actually speak up. It's time for the cowardice to be disbanded. Anybody who is a coward should not be welcome, because they need to stand up. They need to be encouraged, because we don't want to leave anybody out, and we would definitely love them to come together with us to stand up, but they need that encouragement. Okay? We are not able to live in an age in which cowardice is okay anymore, because the things that are moving in our government so fast every day need to be adjusted. So you have to speak up and you have to stand up. All right. Hit me. What you got? All right. Oh, so this is a good one. So people talk about Planned Parenthood and issues with that and stuff like that. So I myself, I don't ever bite my tongue on things that I say, or I do my best not to. So I do my best not to bite my tongue or anything like that when I talk. This right here is about, everybody talks about sex and no one talks about family. We were just talking about this. Sex is so sexualized in our nation right now, but we can't really do much about that on our local level. But when it comes to what they're teaching in school, okay, when it comes to what they're actually trying to implement in schools, what comes to things with family planning, what comes to things with what do you call it, Planned Parenthood, okay, these are local level issues that can be addressed. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, Planned Parenthood does abortions and this, that, and the third, right? Okay, that's what they do, but they're called Planned Parenthood. So where is the planning part of the parenthood that they are planning for? Why is the focus so much on abortion? Why isn't the focus on contraception? Why aren't they teaching our children about contraception in school? If they want to teach them about sex, which is something very concerning. Do you know they're teaching them about sex? They're trying to teach the little kids about the sex. You heard about that, right?
I did hear something along those lines.
Man, listen here. Okay. It's not up to me to decide whether it's right or wrong for people to teach school age children about sex. But my thing about that is, where are you teaching responsibility? If you're teaching them about sex, where are you teaching them about reasoning? Where are you teaching them about healthy families? Where are you teaching them about a healthy family dynamic? You're teaching them about sex, but you're not teaching them about the responsibilities that surround it, the love, the affection, the, even if you even like the person or not. Are you doing it for pleasure, or what are you doing it for? Okay, so this isn't stuff that's talked about, which, to be honest, I don't know if they should be talking about sex in school at all. But the fact that you're not going to talk about families, and you're not going to talk about things that stem from you having sex, then there are issues there. There are serious, serious issues. If you're not going to be out there teaching why it's important to be a family unit, then you shouldn't be teaching people about sex. If you're not teaching them how to make sure that they end up in a healthy relationship, then you don't need to be teaching them that. If you're not teaching them about the necessities in school every day, like home ec or job training or trade skills or stuff like that, the things that they'll need so that they can achieve stuff in life, then there's no reason for you to be teaching them that stuff. It's a bunch of bunk. If you don't actually supply them with what they need to go along with it, it's wrong. It's wrong, and they're disservicing our children. What else we got? What do we got here? Ah, the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah, so I hear that they still do the pledge in schools, but I don't actually hear the pledge in schools. And I don't think most people know the pledge anymore. Maybe we should have a mandatory pledge every day, 7 a.m. What do you think, Austin?
But just for everybody.
Just for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Just for everybody. No, I jest, I jest. But we do need to bring back and foster the American spirit. It's important for us moving forward in the world, and it's part of very crucial part of my plan to restore Rochester. I think that we need to go forward. We used to have these signs on the outskirts of Rochester that said Rochester an all-American city. There used to be patriotism that lived here, and I know there are still patriots here, but it's so sad when I see so few flags out. It's so flat sad to see so many naked flag posts. We got to put some clothes on them, put some flags up, people, because we are proud of our city and we want it to achieve more. But we can only do that by coming together, focusing on entrepreneurial skills, because when you focus on entrepreneurial stuff, in your local areas, then that's how you're going to foster growth and development, not by bringing in big projects from outside of the city. You have to start local, you have to start small. Small business is important, and we should be working very diligently to build small and build entrepreneurial businesses, because that's how we're going to succeed and thrive in Rochester. What's next, brother? If there's no hope in the world, I'll be the hope myself. I'll be the hope for myself. This goes back to us speaking up and standing up, because we don't see our elected officials representing us very well. We get all types of noise and nothing done. This is why we've got zoning and housing issues and everything in the city, because we've got codes in the municipality that are so old that they're as old as Methuselah, or who else? They're old. They're old as the dinosaurs in the tar pits, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Methuselah. That is hard to say.
Yes, it is. But we can do better. We can do so much better. We have to curb back on things with that deal with this zoning and stuff. For okay, so for instance, boom, you want to change something in your house, why do you always have to fill out a permit downtown? Isn't it your house? Don't you already own it? And if you don't already own it, do you have your landlord's permission? Hopefully you got your landlord's permission. But if you own the house, why are they making sure that and forcing you to pay money to them to do work on your house? Austin, does that sound fair?
No.
Not at all. And then money of the variances that are needed cost money, and then you might or might not get it done. And then you have to follow all these rules and regulations which haven't been addressed or touched for 50 or more years. And we really need to go back through and reassess these. And this is something that I'm very passionate about. What else you got, Austin?
Last one.
If you really knew what was going on in the world, or even in your own backyard, would you accept it, and could you accept it? Well, here's a question. Right now in Rochester, Rochester is kind of awesome because it's kind of like purgatory. You can never really get out, and it's kind of in the middle of everything. Rochester is a great town with great potential. Oh, I just love my city, and I think that we can do so much better. That's why I have my initiatives that I want to work on to get done, so that we can actually achieve more. Because I know that we can achieve more together. And some of those other initiatives that I didn't cover yet are things like, I want to lower electric costs in our city. Why do I want to lower electric costs? Because it costs too much. They keep raising them higher and higher. In Rochester recently, they say, yeah, we're going to put you on all solar panel, on all solar power, and we're going to go and we're going to make it happen. And then if you decide you don't want it, you got to opt out, even though it's going to be more expensive. But together we have collective bargaining. But we've also got this nuclear plant right up the street, which is in need of repairs, which they're not working on repairing, which could generate us more energy. But we're not going to talk about that. But what we will talk about is how we should definitely look into some more hydropower for Rochester, And we should definitely look into small cell nuclear for Rochester. Okay. Like they power cruise ships and stuff with these things sometimes. They power what? How many destroyers and things do we have that are nuclear powered in the US command? A ton. Battleships, nuclear submarines, you know, it's powered by nuclear energy. They've even done some things at NASA, and now they've got nuclear power for outer space for spaceships. So it's come a long way, and it is very energy effective, and it's renewable. Gives off tons more energy, and we can lower the costs of everything that we're paying for right now. I also want to work on sustainability for housing and rent, because right now the prices in the neighborhoods and the communities are going up so drastically and pushing away everything so much that we'll never really be able to do anything if they continue to go at the rate that they're going. And in our neighborhoods, we have a serious issue with police recruitment and accountability for the police and the citizens. I mean, police aren't perfect, but some of the citizens are acting crazy outrageous. They really are, especially preventing the police from doing their jobs, fostering more police hate and stuff like that. And you're not able to do that. We need the police still, because humans are not perfect and a lot of them are not even good. So we need the police. And as long as we do, we should be working to hire more police officers and have them represent the neighborhoods that we feel are underserved or underaddressed. But we have to encourage people from those neighborhoods to go out and join the police force. And the only way to do that is to create a more positive image and create better relationships with the police. In Rochester, we have issues with food costs, and it just costs too much. And food accessibility in general is an issue in many areas. There are no grocery stores, or the grocery stores are far away, but the majority of the population actually doesn't have vehicles. And they're trying to push more and more in the city of Rochester for you to have no vehicles. So to have so few grocery stores, actual grocery stores, is concerning. Um, We've got road infrastructure issues and potholes. Oh my Lord, Jiminy Crackers. The potholes, Austin. The potholes. Do you
And
just have a picture like to the mouth cavernous of doom or something? Because that's the potholes that we have in Rochester. I mean, if you've got Amish people going down the street on their buggy, the whole horse will fall in. Okay. It's like that in Rochester, and we need a better system to report the potholes. We need a better plan for the potholes, and I have these solutions. I have a program to spot the pothole, which will save us money and make us more efficient. I also want to rework the contracting that we're doing for the materials. The materials are part of the issue, because we're still over here solving issues with the tar from the La Brea tar pits. How about that? All those dinosaurs, right? The dinosaurs had tar technology. How about that? Hey, maybe they made all the carbon and destroyed the atmosphere.
yeah,
So, another one of my key projects would be a city funded free job website. I mean, it sounds like it's something simple because it really is something simple, but something that would be highly impactful. So, with the city funded job website, we would have it where you could go in there and you can apply for any job in the city or the surrounding area, and it would be pretty much free for any business to post to. Because for businesses to post jobs and stuff like that, it's $300 to $500 for a reputable job posting website. And why should it be so expensive for businesses that want to hire people so that we can grow and develop as a city? We should make it more affordable, and we should make it simpler so that more people have one location that they can focus on going. I mean, hell, we can charge $10 per listing, or maybe we don't have to charge anything per listing. Okay. And just push it through economic development. Okay. Type of situation, because we need that. And that's something that everybody can agree with. Maybe I should talk to Duffy and see if I can get the Chamber of Commerce on board with that. I think they might like that. Hire more people. We need to work on modernizing our schools and getting them future ready. Because, I mean, if anything showed us over the last year, what we've just experienced with the inadequacies of learning as a whole. Now they're trying to do digital learning, and the kids aren't learning as well in many places. In some places, they're learning better. But it all comes down to the way that you do it. And you have to do it in a manner that's going to be productive. Our schools were suffering already in Rochester because of the way that the curriculum is taught and the curriculum itself, honestly. And I know New York State has the majority of the power when it comes to a lot of things, but there are so many things we can do on the local level. And as far as the schools go, if you were to ask me honestly, really, what would I want to do? Somebody might be kind of mad at me, but I also don't know that anybody listened through this whole podcast, so I'll let you know. So I think that we should get rid of the school board. I think that we should get rid of the school board and we should replace it with the board of directors. I do. I think that's exactly what we should do. What you got? Oh, thank you for tuning in, Brittany. It's important. Thank you. Thank you. So I think that we should replace the school district with a board of directors because we can charge the board of directors with a mandate to bring up proficiency and for fiscal responsibility. And then if they don't do their job, we can just fire them. Okay. Because what's going on with the school district right now is not working. It's not working at all. We're going in the wrong direction. Our proficiency rate is in the toilet. People graduating are coming out legitimately illiterate. Okay, like legitimately. Austin, do you know that there are grown people in the city of Rochester that are graduating that are not able to read or write?
That's insane.
Isn't it? How did they get a diploma? How did they get a diploma? How did they get a diploma, people? Like, what is going on in my city? And this is one of the reasons why we really need to work on that. And I think that that would be best done by doing that. Side note on the modernization of the schools have issues that do not get addressed, which are they have no connection to real life. There are not enough trade programs. The trade programs that are there are either too small or too poorly funded or haven't been done in years. So where's the on the job training? How many on the job training programs are there? Where's that? Why aren't we teaching our kids to excel anymore? Why don't we care about the children? Why can't they be exceptional? And this goes back to what I talked about last week a little bit with Simone Biles because she was so exceptional and she shines so bright. They said that they're going to grade her on a more harsh grade curve because she's so much better than everybody else and they're going to grade her harder because of it. That's not okay. That's what we see in schools happening. We should take some of the money that's going to schools right now and we should set it up for an um advanced training schooling, on the job training and job placement, as well as just trades in general, plumbing, contracting, carpentry, masonry, stuff like that, the things that you need. Because when you go to your toilet, you want it to go flush and release all the waste, which is really part of our water system, also, which the water system in Rochester is terrible. And that needs to be addressed, which you see it blow up like every other weekend. Austin, have you seen some of the water just spouting out of the ground in the city of Rochester? Have you seen it on the news at all?
Yeah, it's nuts. It's crazy.
Listen, let me tell you, we've got geysers coming out of the middle of the street in Rochester looking like the second coming of the Lord, okay? We've got geysers coming out there that are over here looking like Mount Olympus or something, okay? We've got geysers coming out of the hole that you would think that it is the largest crater in the world and just spray up the most of any type of everything that you could think of are in our sewerways and water mains. Everything. Just it's terrible. It's terrible. And it's part of the failed oversight for our aging infrastructure on the local level. They get money for these things and they don't spend it wisely. They are supposed to allocate for these things and they say that it can continuously be repaired. We're in the middle of an issue where they're trying to work to replace all of the lead pipes in the city. And they're like, yeah, maybe in another 20, 30 years we'll be done. 20, 30 years of more service with lead pipes and lead service lines. I mean, I don't know if that's okay, but for me, it's not. For me, it's not at all. And that goes also double for these construction projects that they authorize in the middle of the city that hold up all types of traffic for weeks and weeks and months and months. I believe that when any of these projects are authorized for private duty and stuff like that, they need to be done in a week or less. Okay. They need to be fully optimized, fully prioritized to be complete so that they do not interfere with us, the citizens' daily lives. Excuse me. So, I mean, a lot of the things that I want to push, like recycling and water infrastructure, everybody knows that we need better recycling because in Rochester, we get recycling every other week, but we've got these nice totes. And now that everybody's recycling more now than ever, they need to be dumped out once a week, but they do it twice a week, thereby adding to more garbage to go in the garbage can. So it's kind of self defeating there. Also, with that being said, we need a mill. Why don't we have a paper mill in Rochester? We used to have multiple different mills. If we've got all this cardboard and refuse that's just coming up, we need to be making a mill so we can mill all of the cardboard and turn it into paper and turn it into whatever you would use the paper for, paper bags, paper to print, paper for other stuff, paper pulp for more boxes. I mean, all of these things that we could be doing that will generate our city money and create jobs. Like, I've got real solutions that are really going to be impactful for our city, that are really going to lead us to get stuff done. And these are mostly ideas that you can use anywhere across the nation. I'm trying to, excuse my language, I am actively working to stand up to be a leader for my city and for our people in the nation, because people need to stand up that have conservative values. People need to go out there and say that the way that we've been going is not the right direction. It's not the way that we need to go to continue going towards the future. We need to do better, but to do better, us, we have to speak up. If we don't speak up and if we don't join together in unity, okay, all faith is lost in humanity, and I don't want to lose faith in humanity. I still live here. Right, Austin? As long as you live on earth, you want humans to succeed.
I would hope so. Yes.
You know, it's like we're here at the whole crescendo of the world is going on right now, and you can just hear it resonating everywhere. Everything's coming together all at once, and most of it doesn't look very good. So we have to stand up. We have to stand up now. We have to get out. We have to vote. So if you believe in my message, if you believe what I'm saying, if you believe what I'm suggesting, go to my website, marcusforrochester.com, donate, pitch in, volunteer, whatever. Anything would be an awesome help. We will have some shirts up and stuff coming up on Wednesday. So that'll be pretty cool there. And just get the word out that I'm running. Marcus C. Williams, running in Rochester, New York. I'm out here working to actually show that there are representatives that will work for you, that care. That's why I'm working, because I don't see the caring. I don't see the love. I ask myself, where is the love in these people that are our elected officials? Do they even really care? So with that, um, looks like we're tying up. So check out my website, marcusforrochester.com. Follow me on Facebook, Marcus C. Williams. You'll find me. Got all types of videos. I'm going to continue to stand up. I'm going to continue to speak up. And remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Be blessed and be well, you guys. God bless America.